JJ, the CPA here. I am not sitting here with the waterfall behind me for any other reason that I'm just taking a break. I don't think I've left the house. Going on Sunday, it'll be 21 days, and I've been just working nonstop. Tax season plus this. Anyways, I'm just telling you why I'm sitting outside, because I haven't been outside in 2 days probably. And I'm taking a break. I'm having an orange juice. I'm helping some freaking awesome clients get their PPP applications done. I'm going to do a video later. So here's the update for April 2nd on the PPP. I think we're going to have mad mobs in front of banks, but I'm going to defend the banks. Okay, the banks are scrambling as hard as they can. Now, you're going to see a few videos where I just lost it on how the banks are asking for too much information. I stand by those videos because all the banks need, if you read the law, period, and I understand I don't own a bank, and so I don't have any business telling banks what they can and cannot do, but the banks that I'm working with that are in the know, here's what I've been doing today. Okay, this is the update for April 2nd. I've been pulling together, just like I talked about in my videos, 941s for the last 4 quarters. So it'd be second, third, and fourth quarter of 2019, first quarter 2020, working with Alliant, who has been on the stick, working hard and late, putting together that. And then payroll reports, April 1st through March 31st, and then I had already told clients we need to get copies of all the insurance invoices for the last 12 months. Last 12 months being April 1st, 2019 through 3/31/2020. And then any documentation, typically related to the employer match, because that's it. That's all that's needed. And I think I figured out maybe why the banks are asking for more information. But when we're talking about the update, so that's what I've been doing. I've got one of my great long-term friends who is literally saving businesses. Like, I've got a business that is a family business going on 50 years, okay, that has been in this family. We're now down to 4th generation, okay? And the type of business that they're in, what's been going on here is a crushing aspect to it. And I was able to get with them immediately and pull together this information. And here's why I'm telling you this. I'm not trying to just tell you a story for bedtime. I'm trying to tell you that even with a big client with a lot at stake, that's a decent amount of money that is needed desperately with this company like that with the bank. And what I love is, and I'm going to do another video on it tonight, I'm talking with this friend of mine, this banker, and he's like, hey, in the code, and I'm like, you know what, I love you and I love your bank because you're looking at the code. And instead of reading an article, and instead of thinking and him and hawing and doing committees and gee wonder how's it going to work, the banks that are in the know are reading the code. So anyways, all I'm telling you is the banks that are with it, okay, that's all they're requiring. So if the banks are requiring more, you can move on, but I know why they're asking for more now. And it's not because it's needed, okay? So I don't remember the number that I've done, because literally I woke up at 7 a.m. and I've been working on these nonstop, and it's been pleasurable in the sense of being able to get the number for the client, and so I've enjoyed being able to do it. So putting together an application, helping the clients do it, put together the information. I've got a worksheet. If I can find the time, I'm going to release the worksheet and do a video how to go over it, how to calculate your number. Not that it's hard, but I've got an Excel spreadsheet So part of the update is just that's what's going on across America right now. People are putting these together. They're getting it to the banks. The banks are scrambling. They're trying to figure out as best they can, even though I'm slapping them up saying, just read the code, for goodness sakes. But here's the deal. The bankers are, even these banks that are in the know, in my opinion, have said that they've gotten zero guidelines from the SBA on how to fund loans tomorrow. So as it relates to loans maybe not being able to be funded tomorrow, it's not the bank's fault. And it's certainly no reason to get upset with the SBA, okay? Because I'm telling you this right now, is today Thursday?
Yeah.
Okay, this new law, the CARES Act, went into play last Friday at 4 p.m., okay? You got the weekend. People don't work, the government doesn't work on the weekend, not because they're jerks. The government doesn't work on the weekend. And then by the way, we've got a crisis going on, and you've got non-essential staff that are having to be home. And so I'm telling you right now, the SBA has been on it, because I want to say, was it Tuesday that everybody panicked?
Yeah.
It was kind of a panic. I was even shaken trying to get an email out to my clients. I was like, Amanda, don't even talk to me right now. I can't even concentrate, because the application had come out. So that was pretty amazing that the SBA had put together the application and the questions, and it came out Tuesday afternoon. I mean, I'm not kidding around. I'm being sincere. That was amazing. Now, I was shocked and baffled to learn that the SBA had indicated that loans would start to fund Friday. Now, don't get me wrong, government can make things happen. But in terms of getting a banking industry the information and the documents and the funding and the coding and how do you get the documents up and then how the money comes to you. Now, they've got that figured out, but now you're thinking logistics, right? So think of all the banks across America, all the hometown banks as well as the national banks and the state banks. Think of all the different banks, okay? And all the ways now the money's going to get funded to the banks. So I think really, and I told my other great long-term wonderful buddy, banker, one of my best friends, he told me, hey, I mean, we haven't gotten any, he just texted me, we haven't gotten any guidance on how we're going to fund these tomorrow. Which, when you say funding, it's like, the government hasn't said, hey, here's how we're going to give you the money tomorrow. Now, it is usually a 48-hour turnaround. I've been talking about the banks being an ATM machine. It's not quite as instant as an ATM, but it's pretty darn quick. So tomorrow, the world's going to probably come to a crashing halt with businesses that maybe were really relying on Friday being a day of, like, not redemption, but like, oh my gosh, we finally got it. And I had been telling my clients, hey, we're going to be able to, put the application in Friday. We want to be first in line. But I said, for the first people that are doing this, I wouldn't be surprised if it's at least a week before the money comes. I mean, you're the first one to get the fire hose started, right? I mean, the first amount of water coming through the fire hose moves a little slower because it's now, making its way through a dry fire hose, right? So I've been talking about the fire hose and how businesses are on fire and banks are coming with fire hoses, and the banks that are just letting it be, here you go with only the required information are the heroes here. So bottom line is that I think for tomorrow, Friday, we want to just take a deep breath. It's not the bank's fault. It's not the SBA's fault. I think we just probably got overpromised. And I'll tell you this, if they do fund tomorrow, like, it's amazing. It's a miracle. It's unbelievable. It's the bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, and somebody has fouled off 14 times, bases loaded, and, the miracle happened, right? Be like back-to-back, triple grand slams to win, right? In the World Series with your best players that are injured and out, and you brought up from the farm system somebody 2 weeks before the World Series that just was playing high school ball last week. And that's not a commentary on banks. All I'm saying is it'd be a freaking miracle for us to be getting money tomorrow, and near impossible, okay? I don't know how we're going to fund. So you're probably going to hear over the weekend how the banks, maybe are to blame. You might hear over the weekend that the SBA slept on the job, but I'm just telling you, there's nothing further from the truth. Okay, the SBA has been freaking amazing. Their website is unbelievable. For starters, it's beautiful. It's beautiful graphics, right? It's a well done, informative, easy to read. Okay, if you're getting a PPP, do not get an EIDL, just for starters. Okay, so the SBA is doing phenomenal. Okay. My friends at the IRS, come on, get us some more info on the stuff you're in charge of, okay? Just side note. But with the banks across America, know this, I mean, as much as I've been pissed off at the banks that haven't been getting their act together, the banks are moving as fast as they can in the sense of a panic. It's almost like a Scooby-Doo, where you're moving so fast that you're going nowhere and you're falling all over yourself. And so maybe I should give the banks a little slack for just falling all over themselves when quite frankly, I've just been shocked. Why can't you sit for just an hour and a half and watch some videos by JJ the CPA, okay? I laid it all out for you. I put it out there for you. So I'm going to send a message out there in Friday and Saturday and Sunday that I think everybody's going to feel like it's coming to an end by Monday, because everybody's just been resting their hopes for Friday, which has been unrealistic. But I'm going to keep a message out there of, hey, I'm actually going to pick on banks by saying I don't think they're doing the best they can, because why don't you already know what you need to get from clients? It just seems ridiculous when I know, and I'm a little tiny CPA in Oklahoma City where we just got electricity last week and I still ride a horse to the office. How do I know what the requirements are? And banks don't, okay? But when you look at the big banks, they know and they agree with JJ the CPA. And the only reason they agree is they don't know who I am. It's just, I just know what the law says and I know what's required, and that's what they're following, okay? So the banks better have it right by Monday, because here's where they're going to get the front doors just flooded with people that are not happy. It's going to be a 2-for-1 I'm not happy with you bank by Monday. So bankers, probably the ones that are going to be working over the weekends, you need to do it. You need to be paying attention. And here's why. Because come Monday, if you still don't know what documents are needed and you still weren't able to be funded, before you know it, you're going to be crucified, because what will be the story mid next week, okay? When we're talking like the 7th or 8th of April, is the banks that didn't have it together, the banks that didn't know what they needed, are now going to be the blame for those customers at those banks that didn't get their money. No one's going to remember next Wednesday that the SBA did all they could and the banks are doing the best they can, even though there's some of them running around like a Scooby-Doo, okay? It's amazing. I'm talking to a bank today and they're like, oh, we don't even need any payroll records. We just need the tax returns. That's somebody going to court and telling the judge, I can represent this client because I have a fishing license. I have a fishing license, judge, so I can represent this client. Anyways, it's amazing. I mean, it's amazing. So, small businesses out there, okay? I'm not trying to be all some motivator in the movie Rudy, but what I'm trying to tell you is, just take a deep breath. And if you get money by next Friday, be thankful, because that's still moving quick. Okay. And I will tell you this, there's banks that have it down. Okay. And I've been so pleased. I've come across 2 other banks. I don't know anybody at the banks, but I'm like, oh my gosh, they get it. They get it. They understand. It just need this, this, and this, and here you go, and get the money. But see, those are going to be the banks that actually fund first. Okay, because I was talking to a bank earlier today, and they're saying, oh, all we need is all the 2019 stuff. And I was like, all right, I'm done arguing. Okay, the law says the last 12 months, but what do I know? It says the last 12 months. And they're saying, well, but we got a revised blah, blah, blah from the SBA, and it said blah, 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 and we can do average wages of 19, blah, blah, blah. So I had a good chuckle with the banker, and I didn't know him from Adam, but I decided not to go off on him, because at this point, what's the point? That's not really who I am anyways. I'm just tired and been in the house now for 18 days without going out. Will you make me go outside a little more? It's probably why I'm pent up in some of these videos. It's like my counseling. It's like my counseling. All right. That's where we're at. Okay? We're hustling, you're getting your apps in. Get them in. Get them in. And then just really consider yourself lucky. And then here's my last bit of advice. You ready? Here's my last bit of advice. Do not piss your banker off. Okay? If you don't have your money Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of next week, okay, don't go with the approach, okay, of, whoa, you said this, because the banks don't have to do this, right? They can just say, oh, our ATM is close to you, go somewhere else, okay? So as easy as I've been telling you it is for the banks to hand you money, it's that easy for them to go, gosh, I'm sorry, we just can't take care of you. So you're going to be patient with your banker, because in my book, JJ the CPA here, what a shameless plug, I talk about don't get emotional with the bank. It doesn't get you your money any quicker. Okay? If you had to fire 6 people on Sunday and you went without breakfast on Monday, and your wife or husband left you because your business closed, and then your sister's aunt couldn't get into their house because they were locked out, and then the freezer was left open and all the meat got rotten, doesn't matter about you getting your money. Okay? The banker is going to get you the money as soon as they freaking can, as long as they get the right documents and hand in the right documents to the bank, but they're going to get it to you as soon as they can. And what won't help is turning into a little biatch. Okay? Man or woman, don't be a biatch to your banker, and don't sit around and talk about how the SBA is not doing this and not doing that. Everybody's doing what they can, other than these banks that are asking for financial statements and asking for tax returns and don't think you need payroll documents. Please go home. Here's your ball. Go home. Okay? Just get out of the game, okay? Because you're causing all kinds of issues for everybody. And I'm getting texts from people and friends and clients, and like, well, the bank said this and the bank said that. And I just said, then just do it. Then just go ahead and do it. Well, the bank said this. And you're like, hey, I'm just the CPA. I don't even do this stuff. I have this much say on do you get the money or not. I have this much say when you walk into a bank and they say, well, we're going to need this and we're going to need this. If the bank wants it and you want to do business with that bank, guess what? You're going to get it to them. Okay? I love it that I'm JJ the CPA and people want to make sure that I agree with them. But here's been my theme today. I mean, just ask your bank. I mean, ask your bank. Well, see what your bank wants to do. There's one of these banks, they're going to go bankrupt because they're giving out such ridiculous information to their customers. And they're going to give out way too much money incorrectly. And this bank, by the end of the year, could be completely out of business, because whatever goofball that they're relying on that came up with the list of information of what they need, and then what you can borrow money for is freaking out of this world, insane, criminal. You're an idiot. You basically should just go sell. I don't want to say go sell something because I'd be making fun of a profession, but you should get out of the banking industry because you're single-handedly going to ruin your bank. You're going to ruin it. But you know what I told the client? I guess go for it. What am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to know? So Amanda just came over. It's been 20 minutes and 38 seconds. She's telling me to do this. All right? So if you've listened till here, I love you and I appreciate it. If you give me a thumbs down, at least tell me why. Okay? At least tell me why. All right? Because if you don't like seeing my mug and you don't want to hear me talk and all that, then just don't watch. Okay? You don't have to give me a thumbs down. It's just kind of rude. All you have to do is just go to the next video. There's only like 10,648,000 videos on YouTube. You don't need to give me a thumbs down. I'm just out here working hard. If you don't like what I have to say, you don't like it that I do this or that, just go to the next video and go find the next idiot talking about something that you'll find entertaining. All right.
Never.
There it is. All right, J-Mac, how did I do? All right, love you guys. Thanks for listening. It's okay if you didn't make it to here. It was refreshing and relieving for me. Here's to the PPP, because it is absolutely going to save America. Be patient.